Get Some Fantasy Football Podcast, hosted by two-time Bundy champion Andrew Lovick and six-time Purgatory champion Matthew Shepard. I'm getting AJ Green from you this year. It's gonna happen.
It's not happening, man. I promise. Not this year. You're just a lazy-eyed bastard, man.
Hey, at least I've won the Bundy twice.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Fuck off. We are the unequivocal,
unmistakable,
decisive,
most conclusive podcast for this league of record. And do you know why, Andrew?
Because this podcast has more Bundys than the other guys. The news you deserve and the news you can trust. Fuck you, Brad and Stu. Our podcast is better. Let's get started. All right, League, it's your boy Andrew coming to you live from Rocky Patel's studios with Matthew Shepard, my co-host, and special guest, the guru himself.
Good evening, Bundy Brothers.
Adam
Bundy Brothers.
Shepard.
I like that, even though I don't have a Bundy yet. I still like that.
So this podcast now has 4 Bundys.
4. That's right. Count them.
Let's get it going. All right. Dirty Randy recap of the games.
Well, let's just start where at the game everybody knows and wants to laugh and poke fun at. Let's look at Mr. Ryan Dixon, Tampa Bay versus me. It was another blowout. He almost got me by 100 points.
We really don't even need to talk about it.
Yeah,
it
shit
was
show. We can
bad.
move on, please.
Moving on, we've got... let's go with Brad versus Day. This was a great game. I thought Day had him. I thought Brad was going down. Man, what a tough loss for Day, going 0-2 on the season. But man, OBJ with the clutch win at the last minute.
That one last little catch there by Chubb. It was a Chubb reception.
Oh, was it Chubb reception?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was already in bed.
That put him over the edge there. I mean, oh my gosh, by less than a point. That's unfortunate, Day. Very unfortunate.
Oh, I think he'll recover.
I wonder if this is what McCaffrey looks like after his quarterback's hurt. If suddenly he starts seeing an 8-9-man box, is this what McCaffrey is going forward?
Ooh,
That's
good
question.
Thought.
Good thought.
All right.
That's why we got the guru here.
Next up, we have Adam versus Copro. Another real close and good game.
Yeah, this one came down to I thought the Cleveland Browns defense was going to have that many points in this game. Man, they were in the backfield the entire game. I really thought you were going to come back and take that one. All you needed was a touchdown or a safety, something to, a sack, strip, fumble, something to give you the edge there, but just didn't quite happen, man.
I entirely knew it wasn't going to happen. I enjoy seeing Copro squirm on the group chat every second.
Copro goes 2-0. You go 0-2. And here we go. Who's next? Stu versus Sam Bartlett. Stu hit 2-0. Sam's 1-1. Stu got 130 points and took over Sam there. I don't think it was much of a surprise for anyone, especially with Dak Prescott at the helm.
Yeah, Dak Prescott, Saquon Barkley kind of leading that team there.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, Mark Andrews showing out again. Not really a surprise at all to me.
It's crazy. We started out seeing Sam as such a great team, and he is steadily proving he can't score 120 points a week, which is not going to get you a W.
Well, not when you're playing people like the other podcast who have found a way to stockpile at least a decent starting lineup.
All right, next up we've got Vincent and Rodney. Vince takes this one, moves to 1-1. Rodney goes to 1-1 as well with his loss. 88.62 to Vince's 92.6. Low showing, but Vince got the dub.
Baker Mayfield didn't do a whole lot for you there, Vince.
Kenny Golladay and Tyler Lockett saved the day for you.
Yeah, pretty much. You're leaning on some semi-whack-a-moles. You're going to get 8-10 points from a lot of your guys most of the time. They'll have explosions, get you 15, 20, sometimes 25. So you'll have wins, you'll have losses. You're going to score 90s and you're going to score 120s. Just hope you score the 120s against somebody who scores 100 and not 130.
Baker Mayfield is every Browns quarterback for the last 25 years. He is no better. He's not the new guy. He's not the great white hope. He's just a Browns quarterback.
And then next up, we've got myself versus Mo. I finally put up a respectable showing of numbers, and it doesn't matter. I get my ass slammed. 163 points. That was disgusting. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate it.
Man, you're riddled. Injuries all across your bench. You got nothing from D.D. Westbrook. It's just unfortunate. You're kind of in the same boat as Vince. You got some players that have the potential to put up a lot of points, and they're also going to have their mediocre games as well. So you're just going to have to hope to play that 90-point guy every week so you can get your wins and limp your way to the playoffs if you get there.
Limp my way there.
You just walked into the New England defense buzzsaw.
It was brutal.
You take out that New England defense and you're at least a formidable lineup or matchup there versus what it turned out to be. So looks like that's all the matchups. Hey, boys?
That does it for the matchups. Next up, Bradford's bag of bones and joints.
That's right. We got injuries next. We're going to run through these pretty quick. We want to spend a little more time on some other stuff here in a minute. So,
Njoku,
wrist, concussion. Dude got beat up.
Simeon.
Trevor Simeon, well, he's gone for the year and maybe even his career. Who knows if he come back from that.
Michael Gallup
out. Is he out for the year?
2 to 4 weeks.
2 to 4 weeks. Okay, I didn't see much on him.
Drew Brees
not going to IR. 6 to 8 weeks. Had surgery this afternoon. They're hoping he's short into that 6 weeks.
Ben
Roethlisberger is elbow surgery done for the season and possibly his career, depending on what Rudolph does.
Alshon
Jeffrey, calf injury. He's day-to-day, looking like he probably will not play this weekend.
Deshaun
Jackson, he is ruled out.
Groin.
Hell, that's a groin injury for him. Be careful with that, man. That'll haunt you the rest of the season.
I think it's a week, 2 weeks type of deal for him.
Okay, well, hopefully they don't rush him.
When he comes back, though.
Devin Singletary.
He's a hammy. He's probably going to play this week, but another one of those you want to be careful with. Hammies can linger on you, man, and they can come back and haunt you later on down in the season if you don't let them heal.
LaShawn McCoy, Damian Williams.
Both questionable to play this week. Both have, one's a knee with Damian Williams and an ankle injury with LaShawn McCoy. Looks like they're both probably going to suit up, but
it's the other way around. Was it the other way?
No, it was McCoy with an ankle and Damian Williams with a knee. Looks like they both have a chance to play. McCoy more likely than Williams. They'll probably both play, but some other guys are going to get some time so nobody gets re-injured.
I did read McCoy's practicing today. Williams is not. So
I read they were both out today.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows what the fuck's going on. That's why you listen to this podcast. The news you know, the news you can trust. Adam, do you want to touch on injuries for a second?
Man, I just think it's interesting how many quarterbacks we're missing right now. You look at the guys that are out that you thought would be starting week 3, and you've got huge names that are out of the game. There were only 7 quarterbacks that beat 20 points this week. That is a crazy, crazy stat. And a position that's supposed to be one of the deepest in the league, it's now
starting to shrink.
Short,
yeah, it's starting to shrink. What, Trubisky's on waivers? Oh, yeah, baby. Let me get up on that. Hey, where's Kaepernick? Is he on the waivers? Let's sign that guy.
Yeah, I bet your only options this week were Jimmy Garoppolo and then Josh Allen were about the only choices you had to go after. And Day wanted Garoppolo, got him, and Adam picked up Josh Allen. I think Garoppolo's a better choice.
Yeah, well, regardless of the fact, quarterbacks are getting slim, boy.
Slim and scary, that's for sure. Good thing I got old Angel Swanderman himself.
All right, moving on.
And next up, we got Goodell's Highway to Hell. Just a couple things to cover here real quick. AB, ? Is he playing? So far, yes. They've done an internal investigation. The NFL's looked into it. They have not come to any conclusion as far as whether he's guilty, not guilty, but the fact that there are no criminal charges still seems to be the reason Goodell is not going after his least favorite team in the New England Patriots. So,
newsflash, Antonio Brown is a piece of shit. I think everyone knows that. Is he a criminally charged piece of shit? That's the question.
Yeah, and so far, no, he's not criminally charged.
Free citizen.
Yeah, amen.
All right.
And the last one, Melvin Gordon released a statement. I don't know who he said it to, but he said, "I will play football somewhere this year."
No, he said, I'll play football somewhere.
That's probably more accurate. Yeah.
I'll play football somewhere. And
Yes.
it ain't going to be with the Los Angeles bullshit Chargers. You
I think
can't
it
even
will.
fill a fucking soccer stadium.
I think it will. Nobody else is going to trade for him, in my opinion. And he was always going to have to come back and play somewhere. Otherwise, he would still be contractually obligated to stay at the Chargers for the next at least 2 years. And they've also got him on his
They can franchise
What?
tag him for 2
franchise
years.
and tag, and then whatever the second year tag is.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The franchise tag. You can basically get a franchise with it, and then a franchise with a little more money on the next time.
All I know for a fact is Austin Eckler is making the case of his return less and less appealing to
James
the
Conner
Chargers.
2.0.
I mean, the guy is killing
looking
it.
like it.
Looking like it.
Looking like it. Well, that does it for Goodell's Highway to Hell. Next up,
Sam's Jacket Room.
special edition Guru grades for trades. All right, let's start it off hot and heavy here. Guru, tell us about the mayhem that was Monday and Tuesday this week.
First up, we've got Matt and Copro. Matt gets rid of Thomas and receives Brady and David Montgomery.
Man, trades involving quarterbacks are weird. It's hard to exactly evaluate quarterbacks for their exact amount of value for a running back or a wide receiver. For Matt's need, what he gave up and what he got, Matt wins this trade. I give him a solid A.
Alrighty.
Hey,
You hear
me
that?
too. Thanks.
Solid A, Matt. Congratulations. Next up,
Hey, another trade with me.
another trade with, but it also includes Adam. So I will have to weigh in as the final
go,
say.
yeah.
I do want to hear the Guru's grade on this one. Matt gets Fournette. He gives up Lindsey and Green. He also gives up Mixon. Matt gets Fournette, Hyde, and Ridley. Adam gets Mixon, Lindsey, and Green.
That's right. For me, it was an issue of bye weeks. I had all my running backs were week 10 buys. So I had to trade around some of my starters. That's why I went for Mixon. Fournette's been struggling. Mixon's been struggling. I call that pretty much a toss-up. On the other trade, I've got enough wide receiver depth. I'm going to pray to wait till Green gets here, and he's going to be the guy who brings it home for me.
All I'm going to do in grading this trade is I'm going to say Adam wins by a landslide because he got A.J. Green from Matt. That's the only reason why. It has nothing to do with talent. Congratulations, sir. It is a precursor to winning a Bundy, I know from experience. And he said he's not going to trade A.J. Green, and he fucking did. How'd you do it? I want to know. We need to know this trade secrets.
He brought it up, he enticed me, and then I hammered him home until he took the trade. That's actually legitimately what happened. But,
True story. True
it
story.
gave me depth. It gave me more running back depth that I needed. I got now points. I started 0-2. I don't have time to wait for A.J. Green. I need points now, and I need wins now. That's what Ridley did for me.
It's your points. Use them when you need them.
Exactly right. Yeah, J.G. Wentworth. That's what I played this week.
All right, and then the one that might have sent shockwaves through the league,
Or
with
at least through another podcast.
through another podcast here, which I'm sure they'll touch on in a negative light. The trade between me and Matt, I got Sammy Watkins and Phillip Rivers, and he got basically Juju. I was going to drop Dede anyway, so I just threw him in there just so I didn't have to drop him.
You got a run-first quarterback that's prone to injury. You got your depth there. You're going to need a bye week anyways. And like we've just talked about, quarterback depth is non-existent this year. And Matt got his boy. Both teams are happy. Honestly, I give it a B on both sides. Neither side of this is sexy to me, which is how a good trade should be.
I mean, looking at it from my side, I just don't trust Mason Rudolph. I don't trust where he's at, and I don't trust that offense. I was actually kind of regretting taking Juju after watching the first two games, even when Big Ben was playing. So seeing Patrick Mahomes throwing to a guy, now, yeah, I do run the risk of him not throwing to Sammy Watkins and throwing to Miko and other guys. But if I had to choose who's going to throw my guy the ball, I'd much rather want it to be points crazy Mahomes versus Mason Rudolph, who's untested, unproven. And Matt was willing to gamble on Mason because he is a Steelers fan. So take advantage of that.
You got a guy on a 400-yard-a-game offense. You can't overlook anybody in that offense.
No, not at all. So
Agreed.
I was happy with it.
You could look at the 20-something that Brad spent on some guy that nobody knows that will be worthless in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't even know his name. I don't remember his name.
Don't even remember. Don't care.
Don't care.
All right.
And that does it for Guru Grades of Trades.
All right, and we're going to skip waivers this week. There wasn't quite enough to talk about. It was pretty barren already. I mean, a couple quarterbacks went. Some overreactions on a few guys as far as, some Kansas City receivers and other things. But I really didn't think there was much out there, so we're just pretty much going to skip it.
I hope it was an overreaction because if Sammy Watkins flops, I'm in trouble.
That's very true. So I think we're going to let the guru introduce the beginning of this next one. Our Monday, or our weekly matchup predictions with Dirty Mike and the boys, with a brand new element added this week.
How you fellas doing? We're about to have us a little screw party in this red Prius over here if you want to join us.
No, you're not going anywhere near that Prius, okay?
Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about a bunch of hobos with fingers in each other's pooper in a stranger's car with talk radio playing really loud. It's going to be a nice evening.
Well, we're not participating in that. We have no interest.
Let me rephrase it. We got a jar of old mustard, and we got a poodle, and we're just going to get in there, and we're going to put some D's and some A's.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
How you know who we are?
You left a note in that car. Police, shithead.
He's a copper. We gotta go. Come on! Hey, goosey, boys! You're cops! Rub your dicks on the car as you run away!
Breaking news. Breaking news. The breaking news here on this podcast. First, the news you know, the news you can trust.
That's right, kids. You heard it here first. I threw down the gauntlet against that other podcast. This podcast versus their podcast and picks every week. Loser wears 2 twos to the draft.
And rumor has it we're considering a public draft next year, so there's a little bit on the line here. I think we need to throw a little extra on that. 2 twos itself, pretty awesome, but regardless of public or private, first drink is on the losers.
Amen.
All right, I agree, and I think we should add 10 water bets on top of that.
10!
Yeah, throw some 10 water bets on there.
10
That way,
water bets.
that way we can get closer to that whatever benchmark the other podcast
Yeah, I think
had.
10's a good round number. We'll do 10 water bets along with that.
Fellas, I don't think these guys are scared.
Not
Just
at all.
saying.
Yeah, pretty sure we're going to dominate. So starting this week, moving forward, all past picks are not included. So everybody on our podcast will agree on the picks. Everybody on theirs will agree. And Stu, keep track because I really don't want to.
First off, we got CoPro versus Brad. 2-0 teams, both looking to avoid their first loss.
This one was pretty close to me. Really, I think it all comes down to the quarterback. There's a lot that both teams really have to offer. It was really close as far as sleeper, 58% to 42%. We basically just gave the edge there on this one, going CoPro for the podcast here. Gave the edge to Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I know he's going up against the Ravens, but I really don't care who Pat Mahomes is playing. He just puts up points, and I'm going to go with him until I see somebody stop him.
Sleeper's got Brad on this one, but I think we're collectively on the Pat Mahomes train.
For me, it's all about not Brad.
I can get behind that every day of the week. Very close matchup. Took us a minute to decide, but we're definitely going CoPro on this one.
Next up, Adam versus Day.
Another close matchup on this one.
Yeah, they have they have Day by 53%.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one, but I think receivers do it. Day battling some receiver injuries on his team. doesn't have quite as many options to turn to. Godwin and the Pooper Scooper for the win.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just changed to 51% on day. I wrote it down a second ago at 53, but it is 51% day. So you're gaining ground, Adam.
Live
Gaining
statistics on the go. That's what we do.
We, I'd say Amari Cooper and Chris Godwin are the X factors.
Yeah,
for Adam.
definitely. Mike Evans maybe a little healthier, but man, Jameis has really meshed well with Godwin, with Evans being sick. So I think it's that does it. So we're going Adam. So we got Copro 1, Adam 1. Next matchup, Stu versus Dixon.
This is another close matchup. Sleepers got it 56-44 in favor of the Stew. Dak Prescott looking mean. I mean, the guy is balling. The system quarterback is balling. I don't really know what to make of that because I'm not that high on him, but he continues to produce week in and week out. James Conner's battling an injury, and he's facing Saquon Barkley, and
Even though he's facing a stout Tampa Bay defense, that dude is a fucking stud.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Barkley's going to get his, or Barkey
yeah,
is somebody else called.
Saquon Barkley, just like Air Bud, but way better.
That's right. Airbud on a football field.
Air Bud in the hood.
does Daniel Jones affect Saquon Barkley?
I think it gives him more touches.
Way
You gotta get
more
him
touches,
comfortable.
yeah.
He's going to get screens, dump offs, things in the flat that typically go to running backs. So I think that helps Stu there. The factor for me is all the receivers that Dixon is playing this week. Boyd and Thielen, they're good. But man,
Jones, Diggs, and Williams, number one wide receiver in Oakland right now. I mean, he's been balling out too. So it's going to be a real close matchup.
Oh, and 2 of the 3 with favorable matchups. Plus, you've got Greg Olsen sneaking in there against Arizona. I think those receiving threats bring it home for Dixon.
Yeah, totally agree.
Dixon wins, and I think Tyrell Williams and his other receivers are the X factor on this one.
Totally agree. So Copro, Adam, Dixon. Next matchup, Mo versus Rod.
We really don't need to dive too much into this one. Mo's got a monster of a team. I expect to see him in the playoffs.
Momo until proven otherwise, I think.
And I don't want to get shanked.
All right. Next matchup is going to be me versus Sam.
This one was a little hard to judge because of all the moving parts. But with his new constructed team, we feel like Matt will finally get his first win. It was a 50-50 toss-up, though.
Yep, it was a coin flip.
It was a coin flip.
Literally
and
a coin flip.
Matt won the coin flip. That's the only reason why he's being chosen, because this is going to be a dead even matchup in our opinion. Unless Mason Rudolph flops, which I think is going to happen. But that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to be wrong every now and then, Andrew. And the final matchup to cover, Vince and Lovick. Not another one that, Sleepers got it pretty far in favor of Vince, but if Singletary comes back healthy and they can lean on him, if he's good to go for that game, Marquise Brown, Hollywood, he's showing he's got the goods, man. And Jackson, much to my chagrin, because of some bets, is actually throwing the ball really well. He hadn't had to run a whole lot, and so that bodes really well for Hollywood. It came down to running backs for me, and I think that's kind of what we all decided to agree on.
Did I mention Baker Mayfield is overrated? I feel like I said that somewhere.
Yes,
earlier.
you did.
Oh,
Yeah, you definitely won the quarterback matchup. Baker Mayfield against the Rams feels like a get-right game for the Rams defense. They haven't looked as good, but everybody's looked pretty good against the Cleveland offense so far this year, except for the second half of the Monday night game. But that being said, collectively, we decided to unfortunately go with Vince on this one.
Well, 2-2s are on the line, and so I guess I'll have to abide by it. But
yeah, 2-2s and booze, so we got to go with who we actually think is going to win, unfortunately. So
If we're going to be the podcast to note, we're going to have to stand on integrity, which is what we do around here.
Yeah.
We do have 4 Bundys to this podcast at the moment.
4 Bundys.
4, which makes us experts.
How many? They got one over there? One Bundy.
One
Just
Bundy.
one. All right. Well, we're looking like Brady's over here compared to them. Filling up that hand, boys. So, for our recap of matchups, we have Copro over Brad, Adam over Michael. We have Dixon over Stu. We have Mo over Rod. Me over Sam. And Vince over Lovick. That's right. Gauntlet thrown down, and we're picking both of you to lose.
Yeah, and, this podcast will be up and running tonight. No editing necessary. I do know it's harder for them since they are not in the same room, but...
I think we're first take champs. Is that what we are?
First take champs.
First take champs here.
Well, you want to preach about being professionals. I mean, at least get it up in a timely manner. 2.5 days late, and you're finally getting it up. We snapped back before you snapped at us. What's up?
Boom. Get some of that. All right, guys. Well, that is the podcast for you. The Get Some Fantasy Football Podcast, brought to you by
A very fine Sailor Jerry's and Cherry Coke.
Ooh, you heard it there, boys. Sailor Jerry's and Cherry Coke. I think this was a win for the Get Some Fantasy Football Podcast. Quality is definitely going up. And remember, boys, giddy on up, giddy on out.